Siblings are weird. My brother is somehow 51% Swedish. Yeah, so my brothers and I took our ancestry DNA tests over Christmas, and the results were pretty interesting. My eldest brother somehow got all the German, or at least more German than me, which I'm very jealous of because I'm the one that's actually learning German. I was 35% Swedish, which makes sense considering my paternal great-grandfather was full Swedish, but somehow my other brother managed to be over half Swedish. Whatever. Yes, siblings are the topic of today, as I am talking about a Zelda theory that you may have heard of, you may not have heard of at all, but once you do, you'll probably hate it, because most do hate it, but there are those few that are dedicated to it, as I was once, until I found evidence that it was kind of stupid. But we will get to that later. So first I will describe what the theory is, give the evidence for it, and then the evidence against it, as well as my personal conclusion on it. So the theory is that Link and Zelda from Ocarina of Time are siblings. And not just any siblings, but separated twins. This means that Link's mother is the Queen of Hyrule, rest in peace, and that Link is a prince. So what is the evidence for this? Well, truth be told, the evidence for it is extremely circumstantial and mainly just speculative. There's nothing that's concrete. The first piece of evidence you'll hear in favor of this is that we don't know much about either Link or Zelda's mother. The only thing we know about Link's mother is that she was running through the forest and found the Deku Tree, and she was fatally wounded somehow in the war, and she gave her son, Link, to the Deku Tree and asked him to take care of him, and the Deku Tree knew that he was gonna grow up to do great things, and so he took care of him. Literally have no idea how the Deku Tree took care of an infant, but whatever. Also, Link and Zelda look kinda similar. They're both pale, blue eyes, weird blonde, yellow-colored hair. There you go, all the makings of being siblings, right? Another piece of evidence is that they're probably the same age. So, evidence for being twins, right? The fourth piece of evidence that I'm putting out there that's very weird, and I don't know how people came up with it, or what evidence they have for this being a piece of evidence, is that Link's able to use the Ocarina of Time. I will touch on that later. Also, the king could have easily thought that both Link and his mother were dead, so he just completely forgot about his son. The last piece of evidence is that it could have been a Luke and Leia situation. I'm referring to Star Wars for anyone who doesn't know. Where maybe the king and queen somehow knew, or maybe Impa was able to tell, that Zelda and Link were of great importance, more than just being royals. They both had a piece of the Triforce, and they needed to be separated so an evil power wouldn't find them, whatever. It wouldn't have been Ganondorf because they didn't know at the time. And so they separated them, and they thought Link would be the best choice to put in the forest. Now here's the evidence against it. Now, none of this is actually very hard evidence either, but it's much more logical, and therefore I'm more inclined to believe it. The first piece of logical evidence is that the previous evidence given in favor of it all speculative. So that's one way to shoot it down. Also, Link and Zelda actually have different eyes. Zelda has very large eyes and Link has very small eyes. Now they could have gotten different features from each parent. Milan is about the same age as them, so does that mean she's automatically a sibling too? Concerning the Ocarina of Time, where in the entire game do you ever find evidence of someone saying that the Ocarina can only be used by members of the royal family? You know it has nothing to do with the song because Impa knows the song, and if you had to be a member of the royal family to use the Ocarina, wouldn't Zelda know that? And wouldn't Impa know that? So wouldn't they be very shocked that he's able to use it? Also, why the heck would the queen be running through the forest with Link. Why? If it was a Luke and Leia situation, it would be someone else. I mean, you could say she was trying to say goodbye to him or whatever, but they would not have let her leave the castle during the war, because we know that when they were infants, that there was still a war going on. She would have told the Deku Tree who Link really is. Thus, when the Deku Tree sprout tells Link that he's not a Kokiri after he defeats the Forest Temple, he wouldn't have just said, oh, by the way, you're not a Kokiri, you're a Hylian. He would have also said, you're a prince. Did he? No. So there's that. Now, one could argue that it just was agreed that they shouldn't let Link know, and that maybe something happened when they were on their way to take Link somewhere else. But why the Deku Tree? Wouldn't it be like maybe Kakariko Village? So that pretty much summarizes the whole of that theory. There's not much to it. It's totally false, in my opinion. I think it's a really cool idea, and that's why I believed it for so long, or I wanted to believe it. But then there was just too much evidence against it. But hey, that's just me. What do you think? Do you think that they might be siblings? Do you think they might be siblings in another game? Do you think there could be a game where they could be siblings? That might be interesting. So if you like this video, I highly recommend that you subscribe, like, and comment. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching.